Hey guys, and welcome to our new F1 podcast. My name is Chris, and this is Kat.
Hello. We've started this podcast kind of with the aim of giving a different fan perspective of F1 at the moment. So Chris has been watching it since he was very young, and I've only been watching it for about a year, so definitely got very differing opinions on the things.
Yeah, it's not going to be often that we agree on the same thing, is it? Because we both got different perspectives of every situation.
Exactly. Although there are some major things we do agree on, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hope you enjoy.
Yeah, we'll be trying to do this after every race. And we'll be doing some other stuff on the channel as well, so look out for that.
Yeah. Although we will say with this one, it's kind of two mashed into one because we got the timing completely wrong.
Right, so we had the Canadian Grand Prix 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
We actually had some sort of battle, and it was good to see a race which was just not just dominated by Mercedes.
Very nice. So very juxtaposed.
So obviously in qualifying, go on.
No, I was going to say very juxtaposed to the French GP in that eventful, not necessarily in the good way eventful, but eventful in comparison to how boring France was.
Yeah, definitely. So in qualifying we had a good battle for pole position.
Yeah.
We didn't really see the Ferrari putting it out of the bag until the last lap. I think he was a few attempts down on Hamilton, and then Sebastian Vettel managed to pull something out of the bag. And I think qualified on pole by a tenth or something, and it was a really good lap. It showed because Charles Leclerc only managed to get third.
Yeah.
So it showed that the lap from Vettel was a very good one.
It's very much a relief to see not Hamilton or Bottas on pole position.
I think you could tell by the cheer from the crowd after it came up Vettel first as well. You could tell how much people wanted that. So that was good. Verstappen struggled a bit.
Yeah, but that
he didn't
it
struggle
wasn't
actually.
His fault.
He would have made it.
If Magnussen hadn't had his crash, then Verstappen would have got through to Q3.
So Verstappen started 11th because of Magnussen's crash.
Yeah.
It was a pretty good crash as well.
It was,
Lost it on the final corner and ended up in the pit wall.
Ricardo.
He had a bad weekend all round, really, Magnussen.
Yeah, he did. We'll get onto his issues with the race in a little bit. And the last bit of qualifying was probably Ricardo qualifying fourth. That was very nice to see.
Yeah, that was good. After Bottas had an awful lap, really, didn't he? Locking up everywhere he was. Cars all over the place, just didn't seem to have it.
I've said it
the setup that he wanted.
Yeah, I've said it before, but I don't know whether it's the terrain of the Canadian track, but all of the drivers, it just looked a bit clumsy. I don't know whether that's because of the design of the cars or the design of the track, but Canada just looked kind of clumsy in comparison to other races that I've seen. Yeah,
maybe. It is a street circuit.
I suppose, so it's not...
Well, it's one of my favourite tracks.
I don't know, it's a nice track, but from watching the cars go round, it just looked clumsy. It's probably not the right word to be using, but it's just how I saw it.
Yeah, fair enough. So into the race, I think the first major thing that happened was Lando Norris managing to melt his brakes.
I know, it was such a shame.
We all thought they binned it, didn't we?
Yeah, hit the World Champions.
It happened it happened a few corners before that.
Yeah, it didn't go anywhere near the wall.
We saw his brakes on fire. So.
Yeah.
No.
And then
So it wasn't his fault.
His memes afterwards as well. They're one of the highlights of an F1 weekend for me.
Yeah. if you don't follow Lando Norris on any social media platform, I highly urge you to do so.
You won't regret it.
So then moving on to, I suppose, Magnussen and Grosjean.
Oh, terrible weekend.
Awful weekend for Haas after they were so promising at the start of the year. But Magnussen
did nothing but moan.
A moan on the radio.
Yeah, and
and
same with
meant
Grosjean,
that your
to be
best
honest.
mate had to sort him out.
Yeah, I will probably do a rant about the people I do and don't like in F1 at some point in the future.
Yeah, definitely. Moving on to someone you do like though, Ferrari screwed up the first strategy again.
No, I'm very. This is something I'm very passionate about. Is Leclerc's strategy? Well, not his strategy, but the strategy that is given to Leclerc. It's just, it's not fair. It's so not fair.
I didn't understand this one, to be honest. It was only a couple of seconds behind the leaders.
I know.
And they leave him out for a few extra laps, and he ends up 10 seconds behind. That I don't understand.
It doesn't make any sense because they're not even giving him a chance to race at the front when he's more than capable.
Oh no, he has made a couple of mistakes himself this year, though.
Yeah, that's true. But then, so is everyone else. I think that's just part of being human.
Yep, true. So Renault finishes 6th and 7th, their best result of the season.
Again, that is very, very good to see. Very good to see. I mean, they finished above Gasly. Not that that is difficult.
No.
At the moment.
In my opinion, they've got to change. Red Bull need a better driver in that car.
Yeah. Who do you reckon they're replacing with?
I'm not sure.
Do you reckon they'd get someone else entirely, or do you reckon they might do a switch around with one of the Toro Rosso drivers?
It'd be funny if Kvyat ended up back in that car again.
Yeah. Bit of poetic justice.
Yeah. He did have a strong race, Kvyat. It was, I think he finished...
He did.
10th, I think?
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, both him and Albon are having a pretty decent season so far,
yeah,
really.
Definitely. The midfield is really hard to call this season.
Yeah, it's more interesting to watch than whatever's going on at the front of the grid at the moment.
So that moves us on to our biggest topic of the season so far, I think.
Yeah, the big old penalty for Vettel.
Yeah, so what's your take on that?
Well, obviously, yes, Vettel made a mistake and that's why he ended up on the grass. But the penalty was for a, quote, unsafe re-entry to the track, right?
Yeah.
I don't think it was unsafe because there was actually, yes, it would have been a very tight squeeze, but Hamilton could have got past if he wanted to because there was still room between him and the wall. Neither of them hit each other and neither of them hit the wall, so where is the problem? It's they were racing and they stopped it from being a race because Vettel crossed the line before everyone else, so in my eyes and pretty much everyone else's, he won the race. But I think the penalties are stupid, full stop. I think there are better ways to... During a race, I can understand drive-through penalties, but taking time off after the race is finished doesn't make sense to me, because if you finish the race in a certain position, that's where you finished. It's just... That's my opinion on it anyway.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem was that he finished in first, but he wasn't first. I think that a lot of the fans that were there definitely didn't enjoy that because a lot of them probably didn't know.
No. I mean, and it's one thing I will say is that despite mine and both of our opinions of Hamilton, he didn't deserve to be booed
No,
because
definitely
it wasn't his decision.
not. No, Hamilton just done the best job he could, and he chased down Vettel, and
Yeah.
Vettel made the mistake. But I will say that is an easy mistake to make, because he's obviously turned in less than a tenth of a second too late, and the back end stepped out, and he's on the grass. And it's not easy to control your car when it's on the grass. When he's come back on, he's got a massive snap of oversteer. So I think he did not have control of that car.
Insane that he. No, he didn't, and it's insane that he didn't hit the wall. Neither of them hit the wall or each other.
Yeah.
So the penalty doesn't make sense to me.
No, me either. But that is the way F1's going. Everything's got a penalty attached to it. Everything's someone's fault. It's not racing at the moment, and I think that needs to be looked at soon.
It does need to be looked at, particularly after what we saw and what we've discussed already with the French GP.
Well, yeah, you'll see that after this.
Yeah, they've just the last 2 weekends have definitely highlighted a lot of the problems and made the problems. They've consolidated the problems.
Yep.
So yeah, Canada highlighted, France consolidated, and it's a shame. It's a real shame.
I think this Canada was a race that Ferrari had to win as well. They had to win it to even be remotely in the championship still. I think the championship's over now for me. It's between Hamilton and Bottas, and I think even Bottas' challenge is already waning, so...
Yeah, I say, he had a really strong start and he's either been told to back off or he has backed off for whatever reason.
Yeah, I can't see anything other than a Lewis Hamilton 6th World Championship now, unfortunately.
I know, and it's because, I mean, we were originally planning to actually go to Abu Dhabi at the end of the year, but we've decided not to, because what's the point in going to a race if you already know what's happened, basically.
Yeah. So we're going to save that for a year where the championship is still up for grabs and not going to be over about 6 races beforehand.
Yeah. I reckon it'll get to the point where FAI... Edit that out. The FIA will announce the winner before the championship even starts.
Yeah. Oh dear. So we'll now move on to our French podcast.
So we've now covered the Canadian Grand Prix. We can move on to the French one now. Not that there's too much to talk about.
I don't know where we're going to start with that one.
No.
It's got to be one of the most boring races I've watched in a long time. Definitely this season.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the ones you showed me when we were kind of going back and watching reviews, was it the...
So that was the 1998 British Grand Prix, which was a good race, so I don't know why.
But I found it so boring. But this was something else. This was beyond boring. Yeah. I think the only interesting thing was the mix of the grid, apart from the top 2 in qualifying. And
Yes. I mean, Vettel was 7th, but it didn't really spice up that much because we still had the Mercedes lockout up front. So in the race, it still worked out roughly the same as it normally does. I mean, it was nice to see the McLarens get 5th and 6th. Sainz even was only 9 thousandths off of Verstappen, and he got 4th. But that's crazy, that is. So it's good to see them doing well, and they didn't think that was going to be a good race for them either. So. That bodes well for the future. So I think the biggest talking point again was penalties at the end of the race.
It kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, after Ricciardo got both of his 5-second penalties.
watching the race, we didn't actually see it happen.
No, we was watching Leclerc and Bottas, which I see why I did go to that, because it would have been nice to see Leclerc get past Bottas, and he was close.
Yeah.
But ultimately, in hindsight, they should have put it on the battle for 7th place, shouldn't they?
Yeah. But what's your opinion on the penalties for Ricciardo? Have you gone back and rewatched it to find out?
Yeah. If you go by the rules, obviously, yeah, they are penalties, slam dunk penalties, but
Yeah.
that rule shouldn't be. Those rules shouldn't be there, I don't think. The first one.
I feel like.
Go on.
Oh no, carry on. Sorry.
No, the first one. He went off, didn't he, and come back on and sent Norris out wide. That is a penalty.
Yeah.
Again, 10 years ago, it wouldn't have been a penalty.
No.
Second one, he obviously went off the track. He did go off the track. He went all 4 wheels over the white line. But there should be gravel there. There should be grass there. That's the circuit's fault, not Ricciardo's.
I kind of. Ricciardo said he said on social media after the race, he'd rather try and actually race than not. And I think it has got to. It seems to have kind of, just from what I've seen from the end of last year to this year, it's almost like a completely different sport.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to compete, and I get that health and safety is a massive thing, and it's a really dangerous sport to be doing, but it's not. I don't think if it carries on this way, you can't call it racing.
It's gone too far now, I think. They've taken it too far. It's all good being safe. Like, if you go back to the early 2000s, after all the safety measures have been put in, they were enough. That was the limit, I think, of safety. They were still fast. Well, they are fast now, but they were still racing, close racing still, and it was safe. And then I think now they've gone too far.
Do you think it's these rules that have kind of allowed Mercedes to do what they've done this season, or is that just a completely different issue?
Not the racing rules. That's all. That's more to do with the package, the turbo hybrid package that started in 2014, and they've just managed to do a good job of it. You can't blame Mercedes for F1 being boring. It's not their fault. They've just done.
No. Wasn't a blame on them. It was just I was just wondering whether that could possibly have played a hand in their domination.
Yeah, no, they've just done a good job with what they got, so they've just done the best job they can, to be fair to them. But
I think that's the only way I'll be fair to them, because it'd be nice to see other people up there, to be honest.
Yeah, but that's what they've got to try and sort out for 2021.
That's such a long time to wait, that's a whole another season of this.
Yeah, and maybe they can do a short-term solution. They've got to do something. And the 2021 rules have to be spot on.
Yeah. What are the chances of them being spot on though?
I don't know.
And how many of the current races are still going to be around for it? Because a lot of them, they're losing their love for the sport. That's all you can see. And I think he's explicitly said it.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if he walks away within the next 2 years.
Yeah. I hope they sort it out.
Yeah.
Because, I know I'm new to it. I don't want it to be I watch it for a year and that's it. It's something like I do want to carry on watching it. It's a really good sport to watch.
It is one of the best sports to watch when there's actual racing.
Yeah.
I've also got to say the Paul Ricard circuit, I don't think that is up to scratch either. They brought in last year, and 2 boring races. No sign of grass or gravel, all runoff.
No.
And Perez's penalty at the start, that pretty much sums it up. He's managed to go off track, go through the bollard and make up 2 places.
He followed the rules though, and they still gave him contradicting themselves.
Well, yeah, but he's going 2 places while going off track, so I can understand that one.
But why would you give a penalty to someone that has followed the rules? They've shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, they just...
With that one in particular.
Well, they obviously didn't make the area around the bollard, they obviously didn't make that long enough.
But that's not his fault.
I know, but he's still going 2 places.
I suppose, but no. So speaking of the track, I know it's been said by other people before, but it's not a racing track. So why are they using it for racing?
I don't know.
And it is an eyesore. I know that is a running joke, but is it absolutely an eyesore?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really think there's too much else to cover with the French GP, to be honest. It was...
No.
boring.
Yeah.
Kind of SSDD.
Yeah, so we've got Austria this weekend coming up.
Hope.
Ferrari should be quick there with the straights, but you never know at the moment.
And they've had some...
Well,
have they got some new upgrades?
Well, they're testing some more upgrades out to try and sort their aero out, which apparently they're losing 3 temps in sectors with a lot of short, tight corners, like the last sector in Barcelona and the last sector in France.
Yeah.
Apparently they're losing about 3 temps a lap there, so that's pretty much all their time to Mercedes they're losing.
Yeah.
So we can be hopeful that they try and sort that out. If that's sorted out, then we might actually get some good racing, but they haven't managed to do it so far. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that about does it.
Yeah.
For this
That
particular
covers
podcast.
our first podcast. We threw 2 together here, didn't we? We'll try not to do that too much, depending on the amount of time we get.
Sorry for it being a bit rough as well, obviously. First one's going to be a bit rough. They'll get better. Hopefully you can give us some pointers as well.
Yeah.
Any advice is good.
Yeah, it'll really help us out. Anyway, yeah, thanks for listening. We'll see you again next time.
Yep. See ya.